Hello and good day. Welcome back to our class. This is Teacher Onin de Guzman. Our topic for today is dividing radicals for grade 9 quarter 2. So here are the steps required to rationalize the denominator or divide radical expressions. So number 1 is to rationalize the denominator. You need to multiply both the numerator and denominator by the radical found in the denominator. The reason for this is because when you multiply square root by itself, the radical will disappear. Number 2, multiply both the numerator and denominator. Remember that you can multiply numbers outside the radical with numbers outside the radical, and numbers inside the radical with numbers inside the radical. Number 3 is to simplify the radicals, and number 4 is to reduce the fraction if possible. Let's have our example number 1. So rationalize the denominator square root of 11 divided by square root of 7. So the first thing that we will do is multiply both the numerator and denominator by square root of 7 because that is the radical found in the denominator. Then we can simplify by multiplying 11 by 7. So we come up with, 7 to 7. Then we have square root of 7, so we have times 7, so we have square root of 49. Notice that square root of 7 is already a rational number. So to simplify this, we can have only square root of 7 all over square root of 49, which is equal to 7. This time for our example number 2, so we have already variables. So we have rationalized the denominator square root of 15 divided by square root of 6x. Again, we will multiply both the numerator and denominator by square root of 6x because that is the denominator under our fraction or in our denominator. So simplify, so 15 times 6x will give us 90x under the radical symbol. Then we have square root of 6x times square root of 6x, we have 36x squared. Then take the square root. Take note that I can take the square root of 36x squared, so it means that is 6x. But 90 can be factored as 9 times 10, so that I can extract the perfect square number to 9. So we have 3, square root of 10x divided by 6x. Take note that I can reduce 3 and 6 by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 6. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. So therefore, we have square root of 10x all over 2. So let's move on to problem number 3. So rationalize the denominator 5x square root of 7 divided by 3 square root of 10x. So the first thing that we will consider is consider the radical under the denominator. So that is only square root of 10x. Then we will multiply both the numerator and denominator by square root of 10x. So simplifying it further, 7 times 10x, so that will give us 70x. Take the square root. Then we have 10x times 10x is equal to 100x squared, and take the square root. So to simplify, take note that we can no longer find any perfect square numbers in the factor of 70. So we write as it is. However, we have, 100, or take the square root of 100x squared, and that is 10x. So again, we will multiply 3 and 10x. So we have 30x, and copy in the numerator 5x times the square root of 70x. Simplifying it further, I can factor out the x and x, as well as divide both 5 and 30 by 5. So I have now as the square root of 70x all over 6. Let's have number 4. So rationalize the denominator of 9 times the cube root of 7 divided by the cube root of 3x. So again, what we're going to do is multiply both the numerator and denominator by our radical. So we have cube root of 3x. So it means we should have, okay, in our denominator, okay, cube root of 3x 3 times. So it means we have 1, 2. Okay, to complete the cube root of 3x. Okay, so it means that we have, if we will multiply or simplify both the numerator and denominator, so we have 9 times the cube root of 7 times 3x times 3x. So we have 63x squared. While in the denominator, we have 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27x cubed. Then simplify it further. Okay. In the numerator, I can no longer extract the cube root of 63x squared. However, in the denominator, I can take the cube root of 27, and that is actually 3, and x cubed is x. However, I can factor out, okay, or reduce 9 and 3x, so it will result to, okay, so 3 times the cube root of 63x squared all over x. So let's move on to problem number 5. So that is rationalize the denominator 2x squared times the fourth root of 3x divided by the fourth root of 4x squared. So we want to multiply both the numerator and denominator by our, okay, radical, fourth root of 4x squared. So what we have is we will multiply this one 3 times because we want to complete the factors of our denominator. So applying the multiplication rule for radicals, so I can simply copy 2x squared, okay, then times the fourth root of 3x times 4x squared times 4x squared times 4x squared. Applying the law of exponents, I have 192. Then, okay, x to the 7th power. On the denominator, I have fourth root of 4x squared times 4x squared times 4x squared times 4x squared. So that is equal to 256 x to the 8th power. But then again, I can find the factors of 192 as 16 times 12, as well as x to the 7 is actually x to the 4th power times x to the 3rd power. So that I can extract the fourth root of 16 as well as, okay, the fourth root of x to the 4th power. Take note that the fourth root of 256 x to the 8th power is equal to 4x squared. Simplifying it further, I have 2x squared times, okay, the fourth root of 16 is equal to 2, and the fourth root of x to the 4th power is x. Leaving in the, okay, inside, we have 12x cubed. Then I can factor out already 2x squared as well as 4x squared. So this will give me 2. However, I can still factor out 2 and 2. So, therefore, the final answer is equal to x times the fourth root of 12x cubed. So, that ends our lesson on dividing radicals. Again, to summarize or to rationalize radicals, multiply both numerator and denominator with the radical found in the denominator, then simplify. Again, this is Teacher One de Guzman. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that you will be notified about my new videos. Thank you.